Hey, it's Joe Amoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. You ever gone out with a guy for a little while, maybe a couple dates, a couple weeks, and you thought everything was going well, seemed to be some chemistry, and then he either started pulling away or he just disappeared completely. And you're scratching your head going, WTF, like, what happened? Well, if that's you, I want you to pay close attention because today we're going to talk about the 3 things you may unknowingly be doing to scare a guy away. Now, before we get into this, let me say that there are some guys out there who are boys, who are immature, who are selfish, who are emotionally unavailable, who just disappear for whatever their reasons. And there's absolutely nothing you can do to prevent that other than learning to screen those guys much better because they're pretty transparent. So understand that even if you do everything perfectly, that may happen. That being said, very often there are things you are unknowingly doing which cause good guys to run for the hills. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So the first one, and I see this all the time, is the I'm Miss Independent. I don't need a man. I got my own money. I got my own place. I pay my own bills. I don't need a man. Well, guess what? When you put that out there and you don't need a man, guess what a guy does? He goes, okay, I'm a man. You don't need me. Why should I bother? Because see, what that guy feels is that there's no room for him. There's no emotional space for him to be your partner. Like, why? It's like going into business saying, I don't need a partner. Well, if you don't need a partner in your business, then a partner is not going to work for you. So that's really what a man sees. And so when you come out with that intensity, that energy, and you're like, I don't need a man, that definitely drives guys away. Now, let's talk about this because the reality is if you're going to be in a relationship, you need a man. Okay, you cannot have a relationship without needing a man, and that works 2 ways. So if you're in that space, in that place where I don't need a man, I want you to really look at that and really like get with that and go, like, what's that about? Because the reality, if you want a relationship, you do need a man. So explore that, find out what that's about, because behind there, I promise you, is some hurt, some fear that, if you have a guy in your life, he's going to screw you over, he's going to take advantage of you, he's going to cheat on you, whatever it may be. Okay. And so if that's there, just deal with it, process it and move on, and then go find a great, amazing guy who's not going to cheat on you, who's going to be honest. Because contrary to popular belief, they are out there and they're looking for an amazing woman like you. Okay. So that's the first one, Miss Independent, I don't need a man. Okay. The second one, and this is where you have emotional walls, okay, where you don't open up. You have a hard time trusting guys. Now, initially, guys will put in a little effort, but ultimately, once they put in their effort, they say, you know what, this is too much work. Okay, this woman will never be the partner that I'm looking for. And ultimately, what he feels is this is going to just cause me too much pain in my life, too much frustration, and I'm never going to win. So why bother? Okay? So you have to understand that if you're going to be in a relationship and you want a man to commit the rest of his life to you, you have to be willing to be vulnerable in a healthy way. It doesn't mean right from the beginning you just open up and tell him everything. It doesn't mean that you just trust him from the beginning. If you watch GPS for Love, I'm the first to tell you there are guys out there who shouldn't be trusted. So they have to show you that they earn your trust, that they earn the right for you to be vulnerable. And a man realizes that, and a man's willing to show you that from the beginning because he understands there's a lot of jerks out there. There's a lot of boys. And he says, you know what? I understand that. So I'm willing to show you that I'm different. And as long as he continues to do that, then you slowly open up. You slowly share your heart. You slowly take down those walls brick by brick so that he earns the right to be your partner. But if you don't do that, if you put up those walls that make it hard for him to get close to you because you're afraid of getting hurt, you're afraid of being vulnerable, well, ultimately, you're going to scare good guys away. Because trust me, I've been in those relationships and they're exhausting. Okay, trying to take down somebody's walls when they're not willing to, or they don't want to, or they're not doing the work to take them down themselves is an exhaustive and never ending process. So trust me on that. Guys, good guys will see that and they'll run for the hills. And now the third one, this is one I see all the time, something that scares guys away, is that when you try too hard. That's that desperate energy where, you know what, I got to show up, I got to text him, I got to call him, where are you? I was listening to a radio show the other day, and it just blows my mind. And the show's called Blown Off. It's on WPLJ radio here in New York. If you ever have the chance, check it out. And a guy and a girl went out on a date, and he left her, at the restaurant, had a good time. and he took the subway home. By the time he got home from the date, which was about 35 minutes, he had 13 messages on his answering machine. Well, obviously, he got blown off. He blew her off. Not that he should have done that. He should have let her know. But again, not everybody does everything the best way. So ultimately, on the radio show, they got him on the station, and they're just like, what happened? Why did you disappear? And he's like, I got home, and within 35 minutes, there were 13 voice messages on my phone. And she's like, call me. Where are you? What's going on? Why are you not calling me back? And then she, on the radio station, she started going to this like desperate, like, I don't understand. If you really cared about me and we really had something. And he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. It was a first date. Okay. And so the fact that she came on that strong and she just jumped into, in her eyes, a relationship, and she just pushed and she tried to force things and letting things, instead of letting things take their natural pace, is ultimately what caused him to get scared away. And he said on the radio, he's like, look, if you just would have left a voicemail, okay, and I would have got it when I got home, I would have called you, I would have texted you to say, you know what, hey, I got home, everything was great, had a wonderful time. He's like, because honestly, everything up until then was fine. He's like, but the second I saw that, he's like, I didn't want any part of this. And so I'm sharing this story with you today to help you realize that, the things you say, the things you do, us guys, we pay attention. And you know what? We're not as dumb as you think we are. Okay? And it's not that we don't want relationships, but we want relationships with women who are secure in who they are, who know their worth, and who are willing to allow the process to play itself out so that they realize that they're both right for each other. And the reality is that even if you feel it on the first date, it's very, very, very difficult to know that that's the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, because the reality is you don't know who they are. And what you see on the first date very often isn't what you're going to get down the road. So you need to understand this, and you need to respect this process. So here's your homework, okay? I want you to take some mirror time, okay? And really take a good look at yourself, again, without judgment, just as an observation, and say, do you do any of these three things? Are you Miss Independent, where, you just come off from the very, look, I'm going to tell you, I don't need a man. I've got everything. I pay my bills, okay? Is that you? Or, do you come up where it's hard for you to open up? Even after a while, those walls are there because you're afraid of getting hurt, or you don't trust guys, or whatever it is for you. Or, do you try too hard? I see this all the time. Especially this one is that, it's great chemistry. I got to call him, I got to text him, instead of saying, a guy saying, slow down. Let's let it play out. It'll be okay. Because remember, the right guy is always going to show up and do the right thing. That's one of the ways you'll know he's the right guy. And any guy who doesn't do that is simply the wrong guy. Couldn't make it any simpler than that. So go ahead, take your mirror time. And then after you do, I want you to put your comments and what you found in the box below. Which one are you? Again, this is not meant to judge or to make you wrong, but simply to shine light on where you may be going wrong and making it more difficult to find and attract the man and the relationship that you're ultimately looking for, the kind you desire and that you deserve. As always, honor, privilege to be with you. I'll see you next time. Have a blessed day. Much love.